I supposed to do?
Hi, I'm Bobo.
You're Bobo?
No, you are.
I'm Bobo.
You're Bobo, I'm Precious.
Well, I thought I was
Don't
Jim?
you know your name?
Well, I get confused, but you're Precious?
I'm Precious.
Where's Roxy?
Inside.
Oh, inside.
Yes.
Where's Jim?
Inside.
Inside. Oh, but Bobo's on the outside?
Yes.
I like Bobo.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm Bobo.
And I'm Precious.
We're the silliest clowns in America, even without makeup on. I wanted to be a clown my entire life. From when I was a little kid, I wanted to be in the circus. And I never lost that desire through all the years of growing up. I wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to be an athlete. But I wanted to be a clown. I loved circuses. I loved to make people laugh. I did, too. And it was in my 40s. Actually, I think I was 48 when the opportunity presented itself to be a clown, to be a professional clown. And that happened because we had moved from Memphis, Tennessee to Las Vegas. And Las Vegas has a plethora of entertainers. And I knew I found my niche as long as I could be a clown, and it worked out perfectly. And so my beautiful bride and I decided to do it. Actually, that's not true. I decided to be a clown. And I picked the name Bobo because it's a generic clown name, and I didn't need anything fancy.
Did you have to use a thesaurus, or how did you come up with the name?
Well, I had to get a dictionary and a thesaurus, and the funny thing is I didn't even know what a thesaurus was back then, but I figured it out. I needed a dictionary to show me what a thesaurus was, and then I went to clown under because thesaurus. See, I can't even say it. I went to a clown, and they said the best name you could have is Bobo, and so I took that name.
And then how did you come up with Precious, Roxy?
We were just sitting around, his nieces and Jim, and we just started saying different names, and they said, "How about Precious?" And I said, "That's great. Sounds fine to me."
That's cool.
Well, that's an edited version of what happened.
What do you mean, how I became a clown?
Yeah, well, it was me. I'm the one that wanted to be a clown.
I know, but you guys were sitting around talking about it.
That's true.
And then I said, well, maybe I want to be a clown.
Yes, but that happened. There was a time frame of several minutes, if not a half hour or more.
Yes.
That I had met a professional clown at a deli and a manufacturing location in Las Vegas called Ron Lee's World of Clowns. He's a world-class sculptor and painter, and he had these little clown figurines that he made and other things. But he had a very nice deli, and they had a professional clown was the hostess. Remember that?
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
And we were eating lunch in there, and I decided I'm going to go and talk to that clown.
She ran the carousel.
She ran the carousel, yeah. But she was very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her I had spent my whole life wanting to be a clown. And she says, well, she was with Ringling Brothers for years. And she said, just be a clown. That's what she told me. Just be a clown. Remember? She just,
Yep.
And I said, how do I do that? And she sent me to another gentleman across town who had a clown shop and a magic shop. His name was Earl Chaney. He was the very first Ronald McDonald in L.A. years before. And he was also with Ringling Brothers forever. But he and I clicked, and I left that shop that day $40 or $50 poorer, because you can't go into a magic shop, as you remember, without buying something.
That you couldn't.
No, I couldn't. And so I came home knowing that I could be a clown. And so my nieces who were visiting from Oregon, and they were in their early teens at the time, they were with me. And so they sat with me around the house, and I'm trying to think, okay, I'll come up with Bobo. and I'll be a clown. And there'll be so much fun, and I can't wait. And I've got to learn how to do this, learn how to do that. But it's going to be so much fun. And then, after about 20 minutes, 30 minutes of my nieces and I talking, I heard a little voice in the distance saying,
I think I might want to be a clown.
yeah. And that didn't fit. Now, no one had any doubts that I could be a clown because I'm a little over the top personality-wise and very comfortable making a fool of myself. However, my sweetheart Roxy here, she very shy, very quiet, never wants to be a spectacle in public, ever. And she said, I want to be a clown too. Which I thought was a good idea, but I didn't know how it would work. But within 10, 15 minutes, we came up with BoBo and Precious. And that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
And it was something that we started from scratch, and we pursued it hard, vigorously, learning how to do magic, make balloon animals, put paint on your face to make it look silly. Had to buy noses and wigs, had to buy costumes, and we started with really ugly costumes and ugly paint, especially me on my face. It was pathetic. And then Earl Chaney, remember what he said? Because I kept saying, I don't know if we can do it. He said, go do it.
Yep. He said, just go do it.
But I don't know how, just go do it. So we had a few magic tricks, and we went out to a birthday party. We didn't charge. We weren't that bold quite at that time, and we really, really, really did bad. We just did a magic trick, and then and did a magic trick, and then made a couple balloon animals and left. But Roxy was very shy. She stayed in the back, and we struggled. We kept going back, talking to Earl Chaney, and he kept saying, okay, add this, or don't do that, but do this. Well, over a period of months, we came up with the idea of having actually a skit, not just doing magic, but actually having a skit and letting BoBo's personality come out big time. And so we had a magic table, we had more magic, and we learned how to do magic. Magic isn't so hard to understand. The key to doing good magic, I learned, was
Presenting.
It's how you present it. And we could do it funny, and we could be silly. And we just were able to build on that.
Yep.
And we got better costumes, got some better makeup ideas, and we started doing it. And somewhere after 3 or 4 months of doing it, and we were getting pretty confident, someone took a small video of us and showed it to Roxy. And Roxy, for the first time, realized nobody knew who she was. And that knowledge brought her completely out of her shell. And she turned into a over-the-top wacko, which made us extremely funny. And so from that point on, Precious was a stern mom kind of person, like not going to put up with any foolishness. And of course, BoBo was a very spoiled, uncontrollable 3-year-old child. And the interplay that BoBo and Precious had was very funny. And people really, really started laughing. And the more they laughed, the more we were silly.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah, we just built from that.
Came
up with about 3 different skits. And
yeah.
Some days we had 2 or 3 parties.
What was the hardest part for you to doing BoBo and Precious, do you think?
Well, at first, being so shy.
Yeah.
And then when I started face painting.
Oh, you didn't like face painting?
Not all that much.
Oh.
All those little boys and girls with dirty faces wanting their faces painted.
You didn't like that?
No, I had to have a washcloth.
Yeah. You started doing a lot of arms and hands and
Yes.
things like that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. We also did a lot of work at some restaurants, an Applebee's in Las Vegas and a buffet in Phoenix when we moved to Phoenix. And we got a lot of business from those things.
Yeah, that we promoted ourselves.
Yeah, we promoted ourselves pretty well. We had a lot of coloring sheets made of us as our kind of cartoon characters of us, and we would hand them out, and we would put our names on it and our phone number and whatnot.
So were you doing, to get business, drumming up, were you going residential areas and going to people's mailboxes and putting stuff in, or businesses?
No.
We would hand out the stuff at the restaurants.
In grand
and
openings.
then when we did a party, we would hand out a bunch of them to the party. We did some things, I think, that were unique, that I was proud of.
Yes.
And first of all, we had took all of our coloring sheets, about 10 or 12 of them, and made up a 8x10 coloring booklet with the child's name on the front. The Billy Smith, happy birthday from BoBo and Precious on your 12th birthday, or whatever it was. And on the back, we had all of our promo information. And so we presented that to the birthday child. Where we went, they would have that. And that was one of, and then what else did we do?
We did some grand openings.
Well, yeah, we did grand openings.
So
we did
got
handed out a lot of
business
sheets
from
at grand
that.
openings, and some churches and some schools.
And what era was this? Like what years were you guys
good.
clowns?
That was, let's see, it's 19, it started in late 96. So we started working in January of 97. And by the end of the summer of 97, we had it down pretty good, I think.
We were maxed out.
We were
pretty
maxed out. We were busy. We started out at $100 a party, and we got up to $150 a party. And we had a lot of callbacks.
Yes.
That's when we knew we were good.
Lots of friends of friends.
A lot of friends of friends of friends, yeah. Or kids who were at the party wanted us to come to their party.
Yeah.
So that worked out well.
And for how many years did you guys?
Probably 5 or 6 years together. And then Roxy came down not feeling well and had some medical issues, so I went on alone for 5 years after that.
Oh, wow. So you had a 10-year stint of being a professional clown.
Yeah.
And you were a professional clown. Like, this is a full-time...
We were making money. That was most of our income was coming from that.
Okay. Were you doing other things on the side, or?
I was doing some substitute teaching. Roxy was working part-time at our church. So we had some other income, but we were doing fine. Another thing we did in promotion, we had a certificate of birthday authorization that we made, a real fancy document that gave the birthday child our permission to have a birthday. It was like a birthday license, and that went over well. And the biggest thing that we did as far as promoting ourselves, and it was unique. Well, I don't know if it was unique to us or not. I think so. But we made you can make a birthday cake, appear out of nothing. You put in pretend ingredients and you put the lid on it. Boom, there's a birthday cake. And usually they're foam rubber birthday cakes, and it's funny and everyone laughs. Well, we had real cakes in there with a birthday child's name on the cake, Love, BoBo and Precious. And so when they popped open, they saw that cake. And with their name on it, was a real cake that they got to eat. That was a big plus for us, and we were pretty proud of the fact that we came up with it. And this young lady is the one who baked the cake and decorated the cake. I was very impressed, by the way.
Oh, wow.
You never let me eat them, though. No, we never did. And we never got to eat cake at the parties because we didn't want to get all over our face.
Yeah. They'd have food and the cake, and they'd say, hey, come on and eat with us. But you get it all over your face, and then you have to go to another party.
Yeah.
And It just doesn't work.
That was if we'd have 3 or 4 parties on a Saturday, we'd start in the morning, and then we'd have to finish one and reload all of our magic and all of our stuff, and then go to the next party and do it again, and then do it again. And by the end of the day, we were pretty tired.
And how long is a stint?
An hour.
An hour, okay.
Yeah, but we never ran out the door. We usually stayed an
It
extra
was
10 or
usually
15.
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
At
We'd
each
stay an hour and a half
place.
sometimes, yeah.
And you'd come in character, so you're already
Oh,
makeup.
yes.
Yeah, BoBo and Precious.
We
And
stayed in character
yeah,
the whole time, clear out the door.
Yeah, we stayed in character when we got out of the car until we got back in the car and left. We sometimes we had trouble getting over the curb.
You did.
Yeah, I did. I couldn't get over the curb, and the kids would be looking out the window and laughing, and I would try to. So we started the show before we ever got in the house.
Yes.
And
Because you'd have the big shoes on.
I had the big.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
so did
Right.
Roxy. These are my shoes. Roxy had a nice pair too, but we don't have those anymore. But those are I've kept these for memory.
Then you also have your pants down there.
Oh yeah.
Most of it. Let me get
I
Roxy
was going to
it.
reach them. Can you reach the pants? Here, let me see if I can. Hold on.
You can move your mic.
Hold on.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. These are the last set of pants I had. I had like 5 or 6 of these made identically. They were baggy. I wasn't quite this fat, but they were very baggy. But it had my name on it. It had an American flag. And this is what I wore. And I usually wore a striped shirt and striped socks.
That's great.
And Roxy had a beautiful dress on, and we can show you pictures of her.
Yeah.
In her dress. She was very, very beautiful.
You can move the mic up towards your face if it's more comfortable. Yeah. You can lift
All
it
right.
up. You can pull it up if you want. Bend it up if it helps. Yeah,
Okay.
whatever you want.
All right, I'm happy now. I'm happy.
And then makeup. You guys had mentioned earlier that like that's something you had to learn. Initially wasn't that great, but over time you did your own personal makeup, or would you do Roxy's? And Roxy would do yours?
No. A woman can put makeup on in an instant perfectly. But a guy who's never had a pencil by their eyebrow or around their lips, not so much. It took me a long time to come up with a pretty good face, and it was never perfect. But I tried to overcome my lack of perfection by being silly and drawing people's attention away from my silly face.
So it was a trial and error as far as the makeup, or did you guys have?
Yeah, I
magazines?
had. I knew what I kind of wanted, but finally, Laura Heitman, the clown, initial clown we met at Ron Lee's World, she kind of was a mentor to us as well, and she took me aside one day and she said, "Let's remake your makeup." So she made everything simpler, and that worked pretty well. So,
And Roxy, you came up with your own design, and it was
Yes.
easy for you because you're a woman and you've done makeup
Yes.
before. Okay.
Yes. And it wasn't hard for me. So, but at the parties in Las Vegas, it gets very hot.
Oh wow, yeah.
So you have to make sure you powder your face really well and then get that powder to blend off. And so,
you had to use baby powder to set the cream.
and then when you get home and you want to take it off, you have to use baby oil and cotton pads. And that's not real easy to do either. But we did it. Once I went to bed with my makeup on.
Yeah, I think
I
we did
was
it a
just
couple
too
times.
tired.
Tired.
Yeah, we were so tired. I'd wake up and
So you said you put the baby powder on first. And
no, after.
Oh, afterwards.
It's like
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's like
Kinda
you put it
sets
on
it.
I see.
and with a pad or something.
Yeah. And that's to prevent you from
Yeah,
it
from it'll set it so it won't sweat away.
won't sweat away. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's fairly hot. It's like wearing.
Well, in Las Vegas, we were out many times over 110 degrees
Oh, wow.
during the afternoon on a summer afternoon, and
Had long sleeves.
we had long sleeves, long pants, a wig, so it was like a hat. But it's a dry heat, so it wasn't so bad.
We had fun
We had fun most of the time.
most of the
Yeah,
time.
we had a couple
Except
incidents.
for when you ran out of
Well,
gas.
a couple times, BoBo and Precious ran out of gas.
Uh-oh.
And I don't want to talk about whose fault that was.
Well, I wasn't driving.
So BoBo had to go and get a gas can and go get gas and come back, and walking the whole time. And I'm not making this up. And Bobo had to stay in character the entire time because who knows who was going to drive by. Mm-hmm. And so I'd have to walk a half mile to the gas station. And I hated myself for running out of gas, but I always
hopefully not
did
in
it.
those long shoes.
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I had to be in total character the whole time, walking silly and being exaggerated in my expressions.
Wow.
And going into a gas station asking for money and
not for money, for gas.
No, not for money, for gas. Well, yeah, I should have asked for
that's
money.
full commitment.
Yeah, full commitment.
character.
Yeah, you got to be all in. That was the worst thing that happened to us. Well, looking back, yeah, it was the worst thing. Mm-hmm. There's a place in Las Vegas, all the freeways mesh like into one location.
It's like
and
six
it's called
of
the Spaghetti Bowl. There's so many freeways going around and exits and off ramps, and it's always crazy busy. And one Saturday morning, we were starting the first of 3 birthday parties. Mm-hmm. And we got to the top of the overpass on this Spaghetti Bowl. A million cars everywhere. Our car stopped. It stopped working. There was no shoulder, really, to push the car to. The car stopped.
Car's
it wouldn't
honked.
start. And it's hot. Oh, we didn't even have air conditioning back then, remember, in the car?
I know.
And we were tougher than I remember, I guess. But we were stuck on top of that overpass with a million cars going around, and we didn't know what to do. And we got out of the car. Precious was a little cranky with Bobo because somehow she figured it was my fault the car wasn't working. But she kind of settled down, and I kept waving to people. We had people honking at us and waving with single fingers and all of that at us. And it was, but finally, some good Samaritans came up behind us in a pickup, and they helped push our car a little bit further so we could get off the shoulder, or get on the shoulder of the overpass. And they, bless their hearts, took us to our first party with our car sitting there. And the people at our first party took us to our second party. And we had to give a little discount for that, by the way.
Yes.
And then by that time, we'd got a hold of our son, and he came to our second party and took us to our third party. And then we went home and cleaned up, and then I went back, found out what was wrong with the car, and for $1.97, I got it fixed. And Roxy and Bobo, Precious and Rob, both of them did not forgive me forever. Well, they finally did, but it was a tough day. But that was probably the most adventurous thing we did.
Yes. Yes.
Was there any unwritten rules or like code of ethics among the professional clowns that?
Well, the bottom part, we never read anything about, but we knew enough clowns that had been doing it before us. But it's common sense, courtesy. Make sure you give them a good show, but be pleasant. Leave the place, leave them laughing, but be courteous. If you make a mess, clean the mess up. Be kind to the cranky kids.
And with it being both of us, a man and a woman, it was easier because we were always close together. So if you wanted to hug a child, they knew you weren't trying to do something to the child.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So, but you still had to be careful.
Yeah. Kids loved Bobo, and they wanted to come up and hug Bobo. So I would hug them, but boy, I had my arms and hands way out and hugging them. Just be careful not to let anything untoward even look like something's bad is happening. You're very protective of your reputation. You have to be. But the kids loved Bobo. Bobo was a lovable guy. He was silly, but he...
So for the most part, the kids never cried or were scared by
No,
your makeup?
actually,
once in a while, but not
they.
very seldom.
If I remember right, only one party we went to that someone had cried and never stopped crying until we left.
Well, and I think it was we were so over dramatic once they opened the door, and so here was the big old clown, and was acting silly, and I think it just scared the child, and so that first impression stayed with him.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he's not afraid of clowns now.
Well, he'd be a little older now, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you'd mentioned earlier that you had some mentors in to become clowns. Did you go to clown school?
No.
We went to some conventions in Las Vegas just to mingle with other clowns and get some ideas on little skits. But it was basically common sense. Marketing was the biggest thing that we were able to do well.
And then as far as coming up with the routine, the act, is that something where you and Roxy would spend the week practicing it at home?
That would have been a lot nicer, better work if we would have practiced.
A lot of it was just off the cuff.
Yeah, a lot of it. It was off the top. We would start, for instance, we'd get all set up and kids would get sat down, and then Precious would say, okay, boys and girls, you have a rope, like a 10-foot, 12-foot piece of rope. She says, okay, I'm going to put this rope down here, and I'm going to do it to make sure BoBo stays on his side of the rope. And you guys stay on your side of the rope too, but I want to keep BoBo, because BoBo's, okay, BoBo, come here. All right. And so she hands me the rope, and she said, okay, hold on, do not let go of the rope. And I'm going to go down here at the other end. I said, okay. Well, she walked down there. Of course, BoBo's holding on to the rope, but he's following her. And then she puts the rope down on her end, and she looks at me, and she jumps, and the kids just ate it up. They thought that was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And we did that twice in different ways before we finally got the rope down. And
that was part of the act.
I think the hardest part, though, and I'd be serious for a moment about being a clown. Even though there's a lot of bright colors and silliness and laughing and being giddy, I think by far, maybe you'll agree, I don't know, sweetheart, the hardest part was when BoBo and Precious kissed. Our noses kept getting stuck together. Remember that? And then we would fall down.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And then I'd have to try to get you up.
Well, you'd get me up, and then you'd fall down. Oh, that was a tough part.
Yes.
Yeah, but those kisses were memorable.
They liked it.
I like those kisses. Yes, I do. We'll talk later about that. Yeah.
You have to keep it going kind of fast pace. You can't stop and think, oh, what am I going to do next? You have to do it quickly so the kids stay entertained, and they're laughing from one thing to the next thing. And so that's why we always knew beforehand what we were going to do, but that didn't mean we didn't jump in with some other crazy saying in the middle of it. It wasn't word for word all the time.
She always knew she set up the magic on the table for us, and she knew what was next. And we had an ongoing skit too, like with the water and the flour. Mm-hmm. We couldn't get the flour to grow, but it wouldn't grow. But we put them in this vase, and then we had this can and it had water in it. We'd pour the water out. Flour wouldn't grow. Then there's more water in the vase. Finally the kids told me I needed to put the water in the flour, and then that would grow. And sure enough, it did. Mm-hmm. That was a good. It's a simple, a little ongoing thing.
Yeah. Magic is expensive.
Yeah.
So
really expensive.
The better you get, the better the magic, and so it would be you go to the magic store and you'd spend $150 to $200
for just one or two tricks.
Yeah, and Jim loved magic. So
Yeah.
What were some of the magic tricks that you did?
We didn't, okay. Boy, I wish you hadn't asked that question.
there was a big one with the guy.
We had one guy, we had one, a
It was
tall
the wood.
thing that had, his head fell off. His head came off. And so we had to make a balloon with his face on and put his balloon up there as the face. And then towards the end, we had a child came up and waved a magic wand, and boom, his real head appeared back just like that, and popped the balloon.
Yeah.
That was a good one. We had some coin tricks where we had a coin in a little box, a little like a piggy bank almost, a little tiny square piggy bank, and then the coin disappeared, and they couldn't figure out where it went. And then we had a bunch of stacked, like Indian boxes, like Indian dolls, but there were boxes, one smaller than the other. And we had the child empty those, and the very last one, the quarter that they were after, was in that very last one. That was a good trick. I think that was a good trick. We did. Come on.
Did those rings?
We did. Magic rings. We link rings together.
We had a lot of different.
I know. I can't remember. I wish why did he ask that question?
I don't know.
Oh, he didn't.
He forgot our age.
I think he did. I think
the memory's not as
I think he
good
thinks
as
we're
it
smarter
used to
than
be.
we are. I mean, how smart do you have to be clowns? I mean, let's put it. We didn't We did not need a college education to be clowns.
No.
Yeah. At what point did you figure out that it was something you could actually do for a living? Like you could make profit from it. Did your mentors tell you that?
6 months, 5 or 6 months in.
Yeah.
When we started having the confidence that we were good, and we were never arrogant. We never thought we were very good. Honestly, the day we decided we were really good in Las Vegas, which was saying something, we went to a Japanese restaurant in the Tropicana Hotel in Las Vegas, and the lady who owns the hotel called us, or owns the Japanese restaurant, called us and said, "Hey, we want some clowns. Do you guys come and do clowns?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Are you any good?" And I said, "We're very good." And then she said to me on the phone, she said, "I grew up with clowns in Hawaii, and my children grew up with clowns in Hawaii. Nobody knows clowns like I do. So I'm going to see how good you really are." A little bit of pressure, just a little bit of pressure. So she, there were like 150, 200 people at this party, kids and adults. And we ended up going on stage and doing our whole thing. And when we were done, she came up to us and she said she has never seen as good a clowns as we were.
Yeah.
She said that you were the most entertaining, you were funny, and you were so great. And we almost bust. We were so full of pride. And then another lady, Kate, overheard her coming to the hostess, and she wanted to know where she found the clowns. And so we were very, very. That's when we knew we were pretty good.
Yeah.
We were pretty good.
And were you ever performing just for adults, or was there always children?
Oh, we do adult parties. We did the 80-something.
Yeah, we did an 80-year-old party.
Yeah.
What
And that
else
was
we did?
fun.
Yeah.
So how did adults react compared to children? Was it a different act?
Yeah, grown-ups like it. Yeah, we were silly, and silly is silly, and we were funny. And
Did you have a different performance for adults?
No, did the same thing, but we treated the adults like kids. Okay, come on up here. You come up. You do help me with this magic, and I mean, it worked out well, and we didn't do too many, but I remember one 80-year-old guy, we did a birthday party for him, and we did a graduation party.
Yes.
For a high school kid. We did our 18th birthday party for a high school kid, a young lady, and that worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all of that worked out. The scariest that anyone ever was about BoBo and Precious. The most fear were teenagers and young adults who have this thing in their head that they should be afraid of clowns.
Yeah.
And so, sure enough, they would see BoBo and Precious
Well,
and they would run.
There was some movie out. It
was a movie about a scary clown.
Yeah.
And that's what they related to us to. And it was kind of funny to see them.
Yeah.
Do you think that if you guys were clowns in this day and age, that it would be as successful? Do you think the children still would enjoy and react to clowns?
Yes.
Funny and funny, silly is silly. I think it'd be, I think live entertainment is something kids don't get a lot of these days. Cause everything's on their
phone.
their iPhone or their, on computers or whatever.
But we go by parks, and we always look to see if there's any clowns, and we very seldom see clowns. I don't know if it's just something that isn't as popular now as it was back then, or if there just aren't that many clowns. You would think there would be quite a few in, California.
Yeah, it's hard to say if it's a lost art or not. Mm-hmm. That's why I thought it was so important to capture this. I think
it kind of comes and goes, maybe.
So like fads, like kind of like anything, like rollerblading or, certain types of music. Or
I don't know. I know.
You would have to promote yourself hard. Another thing we did promoting ourselves was our phone in the house. When you would pick it, we had
answering machine.
The answering machine would pick up and it would tell everything about
we
us.
had a very funny answering machine answer. Very funny. We both did it. And many times someone would be leaving a message and we'd giggling because of the way we bantered back and forth trying to answer the phone.
And then we'd answer it right at the end and book the party. So, it comes down to promoting yourself. So, I don't know. I kind of think maybe clowns just aren't as big of a deal now.
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know.
We knew a lot of clowns we saw who they were well-meaning, but they weren't very good because their whole goal was to dress up like a clown. I always was offended when someone said, "Oh, look, you dress up like a clown," where I'm thinking I am a clown from inside out. And so our clowning came from the inside out. We didn't pretend. We weren't wooden. And some people are uncomfortable going over the top with their behavior and stuff. But once you start doing it, once kids and adults start laughing at you, it's like a drug. You want more of it.
Yeah. We had a party, and there was another group right beside us that had a party. And we were doing our things, and some of their kids were coming over to watch us instead of their clown that was there. So, and clowns don't really compete against each other. And if you know them, they're your friends. But every clown is different. Yeah. And ours was just the over the top type.
And when I chose to be a clown, I wanted to be an old-fashioned circus clown with all the paint and everything. Because that's what I saw as a clown, where a lot of clowns today, they have a little paint on their nose and a couple things here and a silly hat, and that's it. And that's fine. That's great. But to me, that's not a clown.
Yeah, well, culturally, like as a child, there's kind of two places that you can remember clowns. One is Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
So that was sort of everyone's sort of iconic clown.
Yeah.
And then, like you said earlier, Circus, where there's the theatrical part of it. And it seems like the role, sort of more traditionally of clowns, from what I could tell, was in the rodeo setting where they're actually protecting the rider.
Yes.
And the same as a clown in, Circus, where they're either like someone's got injured and they have to sort of distract the audience, or they're there to protect some of the, maybe some of the people that are interacting with live animals.
Yeah.
And they sort of have to come to the rescue.
I was seriously thinking when Precious retired that BoBo would become a rodeo clown. And I would have done a good job, except I'm scared to death of bulls, and I don't have any speed to run away from them, and I can't jump high enough to get away from them. And I just have a good, healthy fear of mean animals. So I never did join the rodeo.
An animal chasing you. You'd rather be chasing me.
Yeah, that's for sure. The I don't know. We just had some good parties. They were tiring at times.
Yes. Kids get so excited, and they just keep moving closer and closer to you, and you have to keep moving them back.
Yeah, that's why the rope really helped.
Yeah. So the rope wasn't just performative; it actually
it was to keep
them
separated. They knew that they were on that side and we were on this side.
Yeah.
But they get so excited that they kind of get closer.
Is there a waiver or anything, paperwork for the parents to sign?
Never. Maybe there should have been. I don't know.
Maybe there should have been.
But
and when you mentioned your telephone voice machine was, in character BoBo and Precious.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys have a specific separate phone line just for your business? Okay.
Yeah.
We had a business line.
I got you.
And our advertising was in the Yellow Pages. Yellow Pages.
That's a big deal.
Those are big, thick books that long time ago, way back in the olden days, that people actually put ads in. And like if you're going to sell aardvarks, you look under the A's. Oh, aardvark. And then there'd be a little ad there about what sort of aardvark. Or if you're going to sell billy clubs, you look under the B's. And so on. It goes all the way to the letter Z that comes at the end of the alphabet. Those called a yellow page book. And they're, the reason they call it a yellow page book is because the pages are yellow.
Well, that was a big deal back in the day, like 80s and 90s before the internet, because like you would invest a good amount of money in a page in the Yellow Pages. So if you had a full page ad, you were really committed.
That was expensive. Yeah. We had a
quarter page.
Not even that big. We had kind of a fairly good size ad with our cartoon characters' pictures on there, and saying what all we did. Our tagline was the silliest clowns in America. BoBo and Precious, the silliest clowns in America. Magic, face painting, balloons, and general buffoonery for all ages.
And a quarter page ad, that wasn't cheap?
No, it wasn't cheap.
It
wasn't cheap, but we got a lot of work from it.
And another thing is we had our magnetic signs on the side of our car.
So we put BoBo. Oh, that's another thing we did. We had these signs on the side of the car when we were driving. It's BoBo and Precious. Many times we saw people see us in there, and we were waving to them, and they're writing our number down from the sign. So that worked.
Yeah, that's an interesting era because if you had been BoBo and Precious nowadays, I mean, the ways of advertising, of course, would be much different. Social media, you'd almost be able to create almost an entire revenue stream just with YouTube creating. You could have done the whole thing from your living room with just all this stuff. So it's kind of an interesting time where it was word of mouth, telephone, flyers. The Yellow Pages was a major part of getting business. Now it's the generation's never even heard of the Yellow Pages. So
that was
it was fun. It was tiring. There were aspects of it that we loved, and for me, there was aspects that I did not care for. But Jim was always goofing around that I don't think he ever realized there was anything that wasn't fun.
There's like good cop, bad cop, and you were the serious one. In character and out of character, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably dealing with the logistics and the paperwork and the invoicing and. You got like did people pay before you got there or afterwards?
Either way, usually afterwards. We'd say you can wait and pay us afterwards. Because if they came up and they weren't happy, we would have discounted but we always got good tips.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got tips on top of it.
Yeah. So, $150 party could be maybe a $200 or $175 party. So, and if you got those 3 times a weekend, and sometimes we'd even get them on Sunday afternoons, so you'd have 5 or 6 parties, but you do get tired.
I think the most money we made at one time was $2,000 at that grand opening for an insurance company. They opened up it was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And they opened up a big office, and they hired us to kind of a whole day of balloon animals and a couple different magic shows and face painting and just walking around being silly.
Yeah.
And
Because once we left Las Vegas, we moved to Phoenix. We still did our clowning up until the time when I got sick, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I told Jim, I'm done. And so then he decided, well, I'll go on my own.
And that was tough.
So
We used to have someone so funny next to you, and so she was my wingman, so to speak. I had to learn to do it without her. So, but it worked out okay.
yeah.
And why did you guys move?
We 99. So we were 3 years in Las Vegas and 2 years in Phoenix before
I
and
stopped.
then I went on another 5 years in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the reason for the move?
We wanted to get out of Las Vegas. We wanted to go to a bigger city. I was thinking, go to a bigger city, make.
And you
make
were
more
going to
money.
teach full time.
Yeah, I was going to teach full time,
And
I
we
taught
were
full
just
time
going
for
to
a
clown on the weekends.
year. Yeah,
But there
clowning
were,
got really busy.
yeah, and then sometimes we would clown during the week
Yeah,
too. So,
yeah. But
yeah, you can make a living being a clown.
do you miss it?
Do I miss it? No.
I know.
No, you do.
Well, I miss the the party, the atmosphere, the being silly. I don't miss the having to put the makeup on, having to take it off,
I don't miss it.
getting the
Face
magical ready to go. Yeah, no, you
Face painting was tough for me because I'm a very clean person. And so when you get somebody up there that has their runny nose and cake and ice cream all over their face, it's like, so you just, so that was just really hard for me. So.
And what was the ages that usually kindergarten or what?
Yeah, probably 3 and 4. We did a lot of 1-year-olds.
Yeah.
But they were usually from India or from Mexico. Mm-hmm. We did some of the best parties were Mexican families.
And that couldn't speak English.
Yeah, but boy, they really did up their first birthday for their children. Mm-hmm. They
but there's always older kids.
Yeah, there's everyone there. Mm-hmm. And we would incorporate all of those kids. But generally, we tell you probably 4 is about the time they can really start appreciating. And up to about 7 or 8.
We did quite a few 9, 10-year-olds, 11s.
Yeah, we did some. I remember there's a 12-year-old we did one time, and he just really thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was the one thing you didn't talk about is your balloon skills.
Okay.
He had to learn that.
What did he mean by the word skills, Roxy?
He never had any skills, but he had a book, and he tried to learn from that. And so then he just kind of started improvising, and he got really good at it. So I had him teach me how to do some of them, and I enjoyed doing that. But
what kind of balloon figures did you get good at? That were
I could do
dogs
bears
and cats and
bears,
teddy bears and
flowers.
I was really good at a worm, and But we would do flowers and swords and guns.
Guns.
Did you have a special device to pump it up?
Yeah, called a pump.
Okay, because I've tried stretching those long ones. I mean, you almost pass out trying to.
No, I can't blow them. I've tried and tried. I could never blow. We were doing it at Abby's. Abby's Pizza? No, not Abby's.
I don't remember.
Abby's in Las Vegas. Arby's, not Arby's.
I don't remember.
What was the restaurant we did in Las Vegas? It was Abby's. No, I can't remember.
No, you mean the buffet
Yeah,
place?
not the buffet, but before the buffet. Do you remember what? It was the big fancy restaurant.
Yeah,
Arby's.
I remember
It
the
wasn't Arby's,
restaurant,
it was
but I
Abby's.
don't remember.
No. Anyway, you know what it is. Just go with me. But I'd do tables. I'd go to tables and make balloon animals and stuff. And we do it simply for tips. And I never...
Applebee's.
Applebee's, that's what it was. Okay, I was close. Started with an A. Mm-hmm. All right. But I never took tips. I always got tips, but I said, I'm doing this for free. And so I'd go from table to table and you could banter back and forth with the kids, but also with the adults. They think it's funny making fun of a clown. So I remember one time we were doing it. Someone was making fun of me because I was using a pump, and I said, "Yeah, this isn't easy. You try and blow it up." And one guy said, "No, but here's my 8-year-old daughter. Let's see what she can do." Zoop! She blew it up with her mouth just like that. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was first time I'd ever saw it, the only time I'd ever saw that.
Yeah.
But I can't do it. For a long time, I made my own electric pump. It's going bzzz, because you get tired of doing this, especially if you have a long line and you're at a big public place, you might have 100 or more balloons to make. You get tired of making them. And,
towards the end, you'll give them like 3 options of what they can pick. And
they'll always ask for something that you don't know how to make. Could you make me a Tyrannosaurus Rex surfing on a surfboard while juggling 3 puppy dogs? Something like that. Yeah. So.
But you just make.
I'll make something. Yeah.
Make something up and say, well, here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I learned early on that I was never going to be a great balloon artist, and we've got some. I go to church. We go to a great church. One of the gentlemen there is a phenomenal, world-class balloon artist, and he'll stay after church and make balloons for the kids.
Oh, you mean at Barabbas Road?
Yeah,
Church.
at Barabbas Road Church.
Oh, okay.
Where we go.
Oh, I know
San
who
Diego.
you're talking
about. Yeah, DJ.
About. Yeah.
And he is phenomenal. And I could never do that, what he did. But what I determined to do is I would be funny. I could make kids laugh by my balloon stuff. I would talk to the animals that I made. They would bite me, or they would kiss me, and they wouldn't let me, that sort of thing. Or they wanted to whisper in my ears, and they wanted me to ask the little girl, what's going to be her name? What are they going to feed her? So we had this banter going back and forth. So I made up for a lack of balloon skill by making the banter funny and hopefully memorable.
Mm-hmm.
How did your faith interact in your BoBo and Precious? Did you guys ever witness to people?
No, other than at church, we did a few churches, but as Christians, we simply just lived a life hopefully pleasing to God, did our job the best we could, gave Him a fair entertainment for a fair price, and were pleasant to people.
But churches, though, you would pray, ahead of time and at the end. But back then, no.
No, we didn't. But we didn't.
But people would ask us questions, and of course, you would answer and say, "Well, we go to church," So. Yeah,
I can only imagine now if you guys were clowns, how your ministry would play into it a lot more.
Yeah, it would be some more. Yeah,
you grow over time as Christians.
I'm trying to think the craziest thing we ever did when we went to that health club, that not gentleman's club. That's wrong. The health club that 24-hour fitness, whatever it was. And we were invited to come and do a.
They had a summer program.
They had a summer program, and they had a time when they had all these little kids were doing mousercise. And they wanted us to come during mousercise.
And they were like 3 and 4
Yeah, they were 3, 4, 5-year-olds. Yeah. And they were doing mousercise. There's probably 450 of them. I don't know. There was a lot of them. So I'm thinking, my friend Earl, who used to be with Ringling Brothers, he had a huge mouse trap that he used to have in the circus.
It was big.
It was big. And so he let me borrow that. So we walk into the facility, and I'm carrying this thing. And we go into the gym that has this big mat on the floor, and just all these kids says, "Where are all the mice?" And I slammed this board down, whap. And I mean, you have never seen little mice scatter so fast in your life. They were hanging from the ceiling underneath the mat on the wall, screaming and crying.
You scared them.
Oh, scared them to death.
We didn't do that again.
No, we never did again. Roxy says, "Jim,
a little too much.
Remember, you're big and you're loud, and you need to tone it down because you don't want to scare them, and you know like that again." So I worked on that, but we never. They didn't ask us back. Did you notice that?
No, they did not.
But didn't we volunteer for that?
Yeah,
that was a volunteer thing. We're never doing that again. I want to get paid from now on. Yeah,
we didn't do it for the money.
And we didn't.
No. Okay. Well, I did.
Yeah,
but
you
didn't.
That's true. Well, I always wanted to buy more magic.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's unique that a husband and wife did, clowns together because. You're working with each other all day, and then you got to go home and be husband and wife at night.
Don't remind me of that. Okay, yeah.
I could get pretty testy at times, especially if I'm tired.
Oh yeah, no, we've always 52 years of marriage. We've had a sweet marriage, very content.
We don't argue.
We very rarely argue, and when we do, I win because I'm always right and she's always wrong.
He thinks he wins.
Yeah.
I let him think he wins.
Yeah.
But also when we would be clowning, in between parties, you get hungry. So you go through a drive-through.
Oh, we would do that.
And for me, that was always kind of embarrassing. But Jim would just be in his clown mood and order the food and
Another downside of all this is if you had a long break between a morning and an afternoon, you couldn't go home and take off your makeup, and you didn't have that much time. But you couldn't go walk around the mall or shop or something because you were in costume. So you'd have to. We just went to park somewhere in the shade and read books or stuff until the time to go.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it'd be hard to stay sort of motivated, in character, excited, enthusiastic, all day as you're getting tired.
Yeah.
You're tired at the end of the day, and now you have to be on again. The adrenaline has to start flowing again.
Yeah.
And I can imagine for Roxy that would be harder because it's just not your natural inclination.
Yeah, it was. We kind of got to a point where we could put it on auto drive and just kind of go through the motions and remember what to do and
just stay in character.
Yeah.
So
the funniest thing she did when she finally realized that she could come out of her shell, I was doing something and she finally Precious raised her. She goes, "Bobo, you're wearing me out," and shaking her hands. And it was I started laughing when she did that. It was so funny. But from that moment on, boy, she was in charge, and it was so great.
I've always appreciated it when I'd watch Saturday Night Live, and in the middle of a skit, one of the characters starts giggling at the other one because they're making them laugh so much, and those are the most precious, skits. Even though they've broken character.
I know it. It's still
so
funny.
I can imagine, as clowns, you laughing at Roxy or vice versa.
You remember when you started laughing something we did and you couldn't stop laughing?
I remember laughing, but I don't remember what it was.
I fell down. I fell down, and my
yes.
wig fell off.
Yes.
And she laughed so hard, she couldn't stop. And all I do is panicking because I tried to get that wig back on. I wouldn't want anyone to think that wasn't my real hair, And
Or he'd mess up a trick, and I would just die laughing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there are many tears of joy.
Tears of joy, yeah.
Yeah.
And some not joy. But, yeah.
But that was funny when you're
Yeah, I'm proud that we did that. And I thought we did good. And
We tried to get a ball routine down, but I'm not athletic at all. So
but we had, for a short time, we did those 3 big, huge rubber balls, big ones. And we would juggle them. We could juggle 3 of them, tossing them back and forth. She learned to do it, and we would do it. But we realized bringing those it didn't fit.
we had a small car,
Yeah, yeah.
and we had so much stuff
Yeah.
that,
What kind of car did you guys have?
Like a little Mitsubishi,
yeah.
It
was just and it was packed.
Oh, yeah.
When we would
And then
go.
for a while, we had a small pickup.
And that was much
That
better.
worked. And we put all the magic box in back and whatnot. So
Yeah.
And then did you have to carry all that stuff in the back door, kind of
front door.
front door? Okay, so you got a big.
We
entourage.
had different boxes that we made.
Okay.
That they had wheels on it because it's pretty heavy. We'd have wheels on it and take it in.
And part of the setup was part of the
The routine.
Yeah, it was part of the routine.
So you made it
up.
into a gimmick, a skit.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So
Did you also do a lot of volunteer clowning, like going into hospitals and
we never
senior
did. We ever
homes?
go to a hospital
No, we never went to the hospital. We did churches.
and some schools for
Schools.
free. Yeah, we and we decided we got a little, we thought, ripped off one time by a lady who said she really couldn't afford a clown for her granddaughter's birthday, but her granddaughter's leaving to go to the other side of the country and she won't see her for a long time. Could we do it for like half price? And I said, yeah, because we were already out. I said, yeah. Well, we get to her house and it's like a mansion with all these Mercedes and Jaguars parked in front. And that was the last time we did that. From now on, it was going to be full price or free, but no give it.
Yeah, if somebody wanted a clown and they just couldn't afford it, then we would do it. We never turned anybody down.
Mm-hmm. And we gave away gift certificates too. A free birthday party or something. Every so often we would do that.
So, and maybe a brother or a sister once having a party and 6 months later the brother's having a party, we might come down on that price, because it's same person in the same family.
That's what you did? You came down on prices? No wonder I didn't get the fancy new magic. Shame on you. You're supposed to jack the price up.
No.
You're not supposed to do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
Remember, you weren't in it for the money.
That's right. I wasn't in it for the money.
But I was.
I was in it for the glory.
Of being silly.
Yeah, being silly. Yeah. That's for sure. Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that photo between the two of you there? Was that a photo that that a family member took? And is that at the beginning of your routine, like as far as the makeup in there?
That was our quintessential final BoBo and Precious look. So that was I don't know. Yeah, we took it. That was in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Because can tell that's the edge of the patio. Mm-hmm. So we're going to a party, and I think Victoria took that, our daughter-in-law.
I think so.
And
because I noticed the pants in the picture are striped, and it matches Precious's dress.
Yeah,
and then
it wasn't 10. I ordered solid red. They didn't have it, so I took the stripe ones.
Well, it's kind of great because both your outfits match. with
Except
the
hers
stripes.
is pink and mine is
it
red.
was. Okay, well, the picture looks like they're both the same
Oh,
color.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, just from here.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah,
had-
but the pants you did hold up earlier, the orange
Yeah.
and blue ones, were those an earlier pair of pants?
No,
or-
these were earlier.
Okay.
These were later. These were simpler. But we had a lady in Phoenix. She made
That
5
made
or
it.
6 of these for us.
So did you have different clown outfits that you would wear? Like
No,
one-
different coloring schemes is all. The same. They looked the same except different colors.
So you
I
could
had-
change it to different
Yeah, just because I like
variety.
variety.
And I had
yeah.
like 3 or 4 different dresses and 3 or 4 different aprons. And
Well, if you're performing almost, weekly, you need
Yeah.
wardrobe changes. You sweat in them, or they
Yeah.
get dirty, or yeah.
Well, that would have helped if we would have washed our uniforms.
Especially the clown underwear, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
so it was fun most
Yeah.
of the time.
It was something we were very proud of. So
But I don't want to do it again.
no,
I think that Jimbo does though.
I
Once he gets his new knees.
I used to
If Jim had new knees
maybe.
and if somebody was doing it with
And
you,
if I had the money, no, I could do it alone. If I had new knees and my back was fixed, I could, because I'm young, I could still do it for another 20, 30 minutes at least.
Sitting down anyway.
Yeah, sitting
A
down.
Sitting down
yeah.
routine.
Kids, shut up. You're making too much noise. Stop laughing.
It'd be the grumpy version
Yes.
of the clown now. You'd have a new character.
Yeah, it would
Grumpy
be a
instead
whole
of-
different look.
Instead of your old name, it would be Grumpy now.
Yeah.
Maybe you could tell me a little bit about the real Jim Healey. He's a bit of a clown character as
Well,
well.
yeah, you
right?
see, the irony, that happened all at the same time. We had just moved to Las Vegas. We started getting involved with clowns. I started acting at our church. We did plays every week. We had a large church in Las Vegas. So we did skits every week. So I did usually 2 a month. And I was really enjoying that. It just kind of coming out of my,
he was really good.
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Well, you're still doing some acting.
I still do some acting. Crazy all the time. But
So the character.
so anyway, that was so then Victoria, who is now my daughter-in-law, was not. This was 26 years ago, 27 years ago, but she was in an oldies 50s and 60s music rock group in Las Vegas. And they sang great stuff. They were really good. Well, she decided they needed a front man to be the MC and to do little skits and be silly with the audience. And her bandmate said, yeah, if you can find someone. Oh, I've got someone in mind. And she approached me and wanted to do it. I said, well, yeah. I did. And so I invented the really Jim Healey. And I was a nerd with the glasses sometimes, or with, just dressed silly. And I would act silly on stage. I had this radio voice that I could use, and I would introduce the songs, but I acted like an idiot. And so there was a contrast there that, anyway, it really worked well. And we would do certain skits to certain songs. And so the really Jim Healey was born, and the really Jim Healey is still here.
And I noticed that the character is slightly different than the clown character. You've got the big bow tie and the
Yeah. It was.
Were you wearing? I can't see the bottom part. But
No,
are
just
you wearing,
I had jeans. I think mostly jeans on. Yeah, I wore jeans. Yeah, just jeans and
Just had his hair slicked back.
hair slicked back. I don't know, but hair
the
slicked back.
50s glasses.
Yeah, sometimes I think I had glasses.
And
on
he was always doing this.
Yeah, to the music, I'd sit in the back and I'd go, yeah.
So you were in character. You were off.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't BoBo. It was the really Jim Healey.
Right.
Yeah.
The really Jim Healey.
The really Jim Healey. Yeah. So we did that for about a year, and then it kind
Fizzled out?
We were really good too.
Very.
We were very
was
good.
Roxy part of it too?
No.
Okay.
She would come and watch, and Victoria's mother would come all the time. And so Victoria's mother, Carolyn, and Roxy became really good friends. And then Ryan, our son, who was living in Las Vegas, he would come and watch. And that's how he eventually got to meet Victoria. And subsequently, they got married
Wow.
26 years ago.
So you were like
Yeah, group. Yeah, we were a tight-knit family.
And your daughter-in-law was one of the singers?
She was the girl singer. She was phenomenal singer.
Wow.
Incredible singer.
And dancer.
And dancer. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
So they didn't let me sing, and I was always upset by that.
Well, you had to have a voice to know.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if I came close to the notes, wouldn't that be?
No.
Come on. You sure?
I'm positive.
Oh, because
It wouldn't have worked out.
they don't let me sing at church either,
No, they don't.
and I don't know
And
why.
there's a reason for that.
Is there? I'm pretty disappointed in that.
Well,
We need to find another church, maybe.
they're not going to let you sing either.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you might as well stay where
Maybe
you
I better
are.
go back to clowning full time.
You can.
Yeah.
Well, at Ashley's in my reception, you guys pulled out BoBo and Precious a little bit and did a bit of a routine out of a costume.
Yeah.
But would that be, if I can put some of that in this interview, I'll do it. But is that a bit of BoBo and Precious that you did? The routine
I think
there?
so. Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. Yeah.
So it'll give people an idea of kind of.
Yeah, because I didn't.
It was hard doing that at your reception because they had that mic that kept coming in and out. And finally, we just said, don't use the mic because it was just so distracting. And when you are trying to perform, you can't have a whole lot of
distractions like
distraction.
that. Yeah.
You know, at birthday parties, parents would be off talking to each other, but that was just part of it.
Yeah. Sometimes that'd irritate me when the parents were standing right behind the kids talking. So we got to the point where we reminded the parents, on the phone before we came, that it's always best if the parents sit and watch BoBo and Precious with the kids.
Be engaged.
Yeah, in that way.
Because some of them would come and want to bring food to their child.
Oh, yeah.
And
don't get me started on that.
It was real distracting, things like that. So,
But
on the whole, it was usually really.
There was one time that I was talking when we were in Phoenix. I was talking to a friend of ours in San Diego, and just chit chatting. And he said he had to call me right back. So I hung up, and my son and Victoria, Ryan and Victoria were there, and he's sitting around, and then the phone rings again. So I answered it, and hello, and my friend is calling back. Obviously, he said he was going to call right back, but he had a different voice. So I thought he was trying to be silly. So he said, because he said, well, I'm trying to find out something about BoBo and Precious, this guy. So knowing it was my friend, I said something highly inappropriate that BoBo and Precious were out doing because my friend would think it was funny. But there was absolute dead air on the other end of the line. Dead air. And it dawned on me that maybe this wasn't my friend calling. And as it turned out, it was the daddy calling to set up a birthday party for his child.
Oh, no.
And you have never seen any athlete backpedal faster than I did that day, because I was trying like crazy. Now, the only thing going in my favor is that 99% of the people who call are women. Mothers call to set up, not daddies. So I backpedaled and said, no, I was joking. I thought you were someone else. And I was trying, he ended up booking the party, and I was really glad. So that really scared me, how close you could come to ruining your reputation by being stupid. Mm-hmm. And so I called Roxy, and I told her, I was almost crying. I felt so bad. And I called her where she was working, and she said, okay, it'll be all right. So, well, later that afternoon, I get a phone call. And the phone call says, it's a lady, but she says, is this Jim Healey, who sometimes goes by the name of BoBo? Yeah. Yeah, my name is Sergeant Merriweather from the Las Vegas Police Department. We've had a complaint that you are molesting boys and girls. Well, my life ended right there. Absolutely ended. That's it. I'm going to spend the rest of my life in jail. I never going to do BoBo and Precious again. And I'm kind of slowly sinking to the floor. And, yeah, you're going to need to come down here. We need to settle this with you. And then I started hearing some giggling. Some giggling. Sounded a lot like Roxy. And then more giggling sounded like Carolyn, Victoria's mom. Next thing you know, they were in full-blown laughter, thinking they made fun of me. I screamed at them, don't you ever, ever, ever do that again to me, and slammed the phone down. And I didn't talk to Carolyn for 3 or 4 days. I was so mad at her. I had to talk to Roxy, but I was still... She said, well, we didn't think it was a big deal. We thought it was kind of funny. They did not realize how tender I am.
Well, you take your clowning very seriously.
Yeah, I take my clowning very seriously. I laugh with seriousness. Yeah, I do.
You mentioned at the beginning how you'd always wanted to be a clown.
Yeah.
And so this is, as a child, you've been to Ringling Circus and experienced that.
Yes.
And then maybe you could talk a little bit more about like how that sort of manifested, like you'd, the timing was right. How old are you at this point when you guys are clowns?
I was 48. I was 48.
Okay.
And Roxy was younger than that.
I was 43.
43? Okay. I don't know, but something about clowning and circuses just clicked with me when I was little, and it never unclicked. I loved it. I loved performing. I was a gymnast in high school, and so I liked performing then and thinking about, man, I could be a trapeze artist, or I could do this or that.
But you never were in theater in school.
No, I wasn't in theater. I was an athlete, Roxy, a big-time athlete. Kind of.
Yeah.
But I should have done theater because but I wanted to be a clown. But I think I wanted to be a performer. I like to be in front of people. But I'd go to circuses, taking our son to circuses and stuff. I just envied the clowns and thought, what a job, what a great job. And so when I got that opportunity in Las Vegas that day, I just jumped at it. I believed I could do something big in Las Vegas. It was a creative town, and it made my creative juices work pretty hard. So I was very motivated to learn to be funny and silly.
I don't think it was hard for you.
It wasn't hard. It was hard to learn how to do the stuff and to come up with tricks and stuff.
But magic and stuff.
But even if you get enough confidence and enough experience, even when you're doing magic in front of people and it doesn't go well, then you can turn that into a silly trick as well. There's no such thing as failure. You just have to learn how to take it to a different level if something breaks or falls apart or doesn't work.
And Roxy, you'd said it was a little bit harder for you to, obviously, to become a clown. It wasn't your aspiration as a child.
No.
Probably never entered your mind.
No, it had never entered my mind until they got talking about it. And I have no idea why I said, well, maybe I'd like to be a clown. But, I've always been very quiet, very shy. I still am. So that definitely wasn't something in my...
But she came out of her shell at your party.
Yep.
Because she came across there and...
Very impressive.
Yeah,
I'd never seen that side of Roxy before.
Yeah, I know it.
I was impressed.
Most people hadn't.
Was it when you decided to become clowns or Roxy decided to join in, was that something you asked her to do?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
She started it, and I thought that would be a good idea.
That's great.
Yeah, he said, yeah, we can do it together.
Yeah.
What a team.
I had no idea what we were going to do or how we do it, but we were fortunate to have a mentor, Earl Chaney,
And Laura.
And Laura.
And how did they, you just asked them questions and they...
Yeah, we
Yeah.
asked questions, but mostly it was getting the stuff together.
Yeah.
You know, and they were encouraging that you can do it. Just get out and do it. You don't have to be perfect. Just get out and do it.
So they were both full-time clowns at that point as well?
Earl was a clown once in a while. He had to. It's the biggest and most busiest clown store and magic store in Las Vegas, and
Well, he had been with Ringling
he was with Ringling
Brothers
for years.
for
yeah.
a long time.
Yeah,
Whereas Laura, I think, was only there.
6 or 7 years, but she
Yeah.
was the head of the clowns at one
Yeah.
point.
So they were professional clowns in
Ringling Brothers.
Yeah, so they never actually had to go door to door like
No.
you.
No,
No.
So
no.
that's a tougher gig.
Earl, I think, Earl Chaney, I think he did some birthday parties. Laura, I don't think did any. Doing birthday parties as a clown is different than being in a circus
Yeah.
because you got to interact, and I'm sure she could have done a great job, but
Yeah.
she,
But I think she was done.
she was.
Yeah, I was
done.
going to say in circus or Ringling, you're performative, but not, you don't have to communicate anything.
Yeah,
You're just
exactly.
miming.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
You
run
work
around.
as a unit.
Yeah. I remember going to circus and they had put a tiny little car on stage
Yeah,
and like 40 clowns.
yeah.
I don't know how they
I
did
don't
it.
think it was 40, but yeah,
Well,
it
seemed
might
like
have been
40
38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I that to me was performative and interesting. But you never heard them talk.
No.
So
When I was getting out of the Army in 1970 and in Kentucky, Ringling Brothers had just started a clown school in Sarasota, Florida. And so that was my desire at the time, to go to clown school in Sarasota, get out of the Army, go down to clown school. But because life got in the way, I never did. And the irony, I think, Earl Chaney was in that clown school on that time when I would have been there.
Probably.
Yeah.
you would have been in his graduating class.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah. But, so anyway, those were fun years. We did that together. And we can always look back and see, we keep this, and we're proud of these pictures, and we have the poster, the big poster that you can, that shows that we are the silliest clowns in America.
Do you have any of the Yellow Page ad or the newspaper ads or the flyers or anything like that? None of that made it, huh?
No.
We used to have the pictures from the coloring book.
We still have a lot of coloring book pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to include that in there.
Yeah.
But you said the only thing you regretted is that you never captured any video of your performance
Right.
and before, but you have some photos. Do you have any photos of you guys performing at the birthdays? Okay, so it's just these
basically,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting era, right? Like there was no cell phones.
No.
There were no cell phones.
Right.
Yeah.
With cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
You had to have a video camera.
That's why when we were stuck on the side of the road, we had to just flag somebody down. It's not as if you could call on your phone.
Yeah, but the thing is, staying in character, because you didn't know, was a TV camera going to accidentally go by, or was a newspaper guy going to go by? So you stayed in character the whole time. Actually, that picture over there shows one of our earliest tables we had. It says BoBo and Precious on there, and
Are you guys performing at a park?
no, are we doing that? No, we're just doing that to take pictures, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ryan took those pictures from us.
What did Ryan think of your?
Rolled his eyes. He
Oh, he
wasn't.
did? Okay.
He's a little surprised that Mom did it. He wasn't surprised that I did it. Yeah,
Did you ever do his birthday parties? Or that
No.
was embarrassing for?
No, he didn't want.
Yeah, he
but
wouldn't dare have Mom and Dad.
Well, at the time, then he was 19, 20 when we
Okay.
did it.
Oh, okay.
They were 21 even, so he
Oh.
wasn't. Yeah. So yeah, he didn't.
No. And he's quiet like me.
Yeah.
So now Victoria's like Jim. She can come out of her shell. But she likes acting and singing
Yeah.
and Ryan's sports oriented.
Sure.
So
You know, I've seen with some different friends over the years that are in the performing arts, you know, either acting or dancing, that ironically they are very shy, and when they can go into a character, then they become a totally different person, so they can sort of hide behind the makeup. And it sounds like you're similar in that way, that the when you saw yourself in character, then that let you sort of hide behind it, like no one will know who I am. There's an anonymity to that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fancy word.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that let you kind of create this character, which is kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you did. Yeah, you
I
became
just-
Precious.
I just
And the
created.
Precious wasn't Roxy. Precious was.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
you
don't
did
know
great
how
at
it did it.
She's what made us funny. She made us funny. Her reaction, her trying to keep me in line.
I noticed, I kind of think of some movies that, you know, would portray clowns in different ways. You'd mentioned It was one of them. That was a negative portrayal of a clown.
Yeah.
Do you remember any other movies that portrayed clowns in a good way?
The Greatest Show on Earth, which is 1953, 1954. That was the Ringling Brothers story, but there's some pretty good clowns there.
I can think of.
But I don't.
The only movie we could think of that was bad is It.
Yeah.
I remember a little bit from my Uncle Buck. They had a clown in that one. I think Big Top Pee Wee might have had some clowns in it.
Yeah, we didn't see those movies.
Yeah, we'll have to show some clown clips or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
But
I'd be curious to know at some point in time historically, like where clowns came from.
well, I can tell you. I'll give you a general overview. Is back in the probably 1800s, maybe even before that, Shakespeare. They had silly people. Shakespeare had a lot of silly people in his plays, but in order to be seen from far away in the audience, they needed to find a way to be exaggerated in their look. And so that was incorporated. And so as circuses, traveling minstrel shows started developing, they would start using paint and big things and noses and hair so people could see it far away. And then that just became the clowns.
Yeah, so exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know in those days, like Shakespeare days, like they didn't have electricity, so they were lighting these stages with candles and whatnot.
But yeah, so I would have been fun to be in the circus.
I remember like something about powdered wigs. That was in the British.
Powder wigs are is a British. The white wigs that people wear still today in British courts.
Right.
Lawyers and judges wear these wigs like little hats.
Well, I think we covered almost everything. I think the last one would be, I mentioned the word legacy. One of the questions I had here was, what would you want your grandchildren or your future generations to know about, that season of your life?
No, how much we absolutely enjoyed it. Just and we were successful at it. I mean, we didn't make $1 million that I know of, but we were successful. We brought a lot of joy to a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And
kids laughing and
kids laughing. Yeah, and so that just and most little kids that we have call our grandkids know that I'm pretty silly already. And that Roxy's a little more serious, but those that call us grandma and grandpa. Yeah.
Would you? I know that a lot of parents encourage their kids to go to college and university and get a degree and stuff like that. What do you think about if someone had a dream to be a clown and do the similar thing? Would you encourage them to do it nowadays?
You should always follow your passion, but you need to adjust your lifestyle to the passion. You cannot be a clown or any entertainer for that matter, at least starting out, and try to live on a surgeon's lifestyle on a clown's salary. You've got to live your life according to what you do, and as much as you can, live below your means. But money is never going to make you happy. Clowning really made me happy, and I think together we were pretty content that we were doing something we loved to do.
Well, that's great. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.